I want to thank you for sparing time to be here. Oguyandetera omuzindaro konka turubache. Maybe we are going in technology. We have an engagement of integrating ICT in whatever we are doing. But that is the way to go. Hata hachiriho umuntu akwirukangana nesente ngo ariyo nazitwara umuntu rubari. Ariyo nayirukanga negari. Yet nowasakirikinga esente kuri yazizeyo. Hariho wangiza two kusindika esente atubasharaho 10. Atumwene inzu mutwara. Ati noranga reasoning ejo nayo nebekira hari munonga. So we must advance. This is the way to go. If you are to have a meeting, you may not necessarily need to have all your staff there in a physical engagement. You can have a meeting by Zoom. Abantu bo buri omwe mu ishomero rye muzaha mugire meeting. No basa no gumana okore kindi kandi uri mu rukiko. Greeting ICT team. I have worked with them for quite a number of years. They make the work easy. When we send you a new teacher as a head teacher in a rural school and you tell him to go to P5 and teach science, he will ask you, what am I going to teach? You don't have the textbook, you don't have the references. But this system, it gets the content from the curriculum. It sends to the head teacher or the content. And then you get the content for science P5. You send it to your teacher of science P5. When he's teaching, you sit in class. Either yourself, you are those or the deputy. Akwata system wejareba eyari yona ashomesa flowering plants. Ashitamaharia ogwashomesa kwa kweza mugira tukande ekikota achongeramo. So it empowers the head teacher to supervise your work. So it will make your work very easy. Then we shall also be able to see what is the coverage. In this term, how many topics is he supposed to cover, how many has he covered? Ntungamo thinking or maybe are covering. So it will improve our performance. As the facilitator will tell us, it also has the component of the schemes. Hariho watugize ati schemes ngo ni emweni yo kubaremesa no kugira ki za schemes. So bagikora n'abashikasha bari sono n'abazine. So mbwenu hati kubukuyija schemes zaza online hata umusho message picking konkati ngo ndagomba babikora sumu bihe omusumu atum kitabo. So you provide the materials. This is the source. In assessment, although we have slightly improved national assessment, last year we were scored at I think 30% education. 30% yonkantakareba department kujiha humunso munitwe to etujina hat tujirum 66. Konkana botu chirukubi. From 30 to 66 is a very big improvement. Konkatu chirukubi nabwe. One of the reasons echa tugarire nyuma ni schemes ezo. Assessors who went to the field, they found most of our teachers in sampled schools had no schemes of work. So this system will make the work easier. So I want to implore you, my staff at the headquarters and the head teachers of Abadiaha, you assist us take this program to where many Africans have phobia for IT. Hariho n'abambagira ngo ebyo barete byinshi kabyatucereza ngo batugambire tutahe. Batugambire tutahe. But that is the way to go. Ebyo shati nguza kubigambaho. Konka speed yanyu nenteganisa. Hata nyo nimba nyenda kutwagira ngo 3 nimba ntegadangu nizezo. Kutugira ngo 3 because we expected to begin at 9 and end at 10 tukaza kukora ebindi. Konka tingu manyo kutwiza kuchimanaginga. Konka nyo tingu za kwa adjustinga bwana kato kuzo muziriye zanyu. Ani nimwe mwa adjusting mwize omuriezi zanje zinkuba ni expecting. We have already briefed the cow on what we are doing here. The cow is already aware that we are here. So, with those few opening remarks, let me thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Bwana Dio, and my very good friend. I think it is clear enough, we can proceed. Mr. Dio, my friend and my very first employer in life. And I think it's the main reason why I am here. I normally tell this story, I hope it doesn't offend you. But when I was stuck at some point in life, he managed to give me some good money, a lot of money at that time, to go and apply in different universities. And I think they had a very good system supporting staff to move forward when they are stuck, including giving you posho if you are about to sleep hungry. So at that time I didn't need posho because I could eat commando and whatever I sleep. But I needed some money to apply in some universities, and I don't know if they still do these things. We used to apply in about 5 universities. So that one can pick you, or so many universities can admit you, then you make a choice. So I applied in about 5 universities, and the man I used was his money. So luckily enough, I was admitted at Imbara University of Science and Technology to do a Bachelor of Computer Engineering. So I am always proud whenever you call me, come and we serve people, because you started it. So my name is Tushabe Ronald. I lead a team at Empower Youth in Technology. Empower Youth in Technology is a youth-led organization which supports, trains and mentors young people to develop technologies. And our concentration is to develop technologies for government and private sector. So that's why we are here. And I came with my colleague, Erdo Nagaba. Erdo Nagaba is one of those that we have trained and mentored, and is now a software engineer, and we are now working together. So I have Smith Taremwa, heads media team. So part of the things we have at Empower Youth in Technology is a television station, and these are the team, the guys that work behind it. So Taremwa Smith and Chonche Elias. So these are the people behind the TV that we run at Empower Youth in Technology. And like I said, we train and mentor young people. Is one of those that we are training. He's a student, but we are training him at Empower Youth in Technology. So we came with her to see how you can apply the practical knowledge, how you can translate what you study in school into real life. So it's Gladys. Is an upcoming IT professional. So like I mentioned, my background is computer engineering, which Mr. Antari helped me to get, and on my own, I acquired a Master of Science in Engineering and Technology Entrepreneurship from the University of Notre Dame. It is in the USA. I graduated last year in July. So I got a scholarship to go and do this master's program. So I didn't stay in the US, I came back here to see how the developed countries use technology to develop, and it's exactly why I am for teachers to access But this is good link for teachers to follow and see what we are doing. But also, I am already seeing 11 have already logged on. So if you have a comment, for those who are watching online, you can put, there is a comment section. You can ask a question, we will be able to respond to it. So basically, that's a simple introduction. So let me go through today's presentation, which forms part of our discussion. So as you see, it's a primary education performance assessment system. And I want to give you a brief background for like 10 or 15 minutes, how we got to design this technology, how has been our journey and how we came to being in Ntungamo today. So primary education performance assessment system, it's an AI-powered technology. Nowadays, you must have heard things like artificial intelligence, where a computer is behaving like a human being. I think what a computer is not doing at the moment is maybe downloading food and you eat it, but the rest is able to do. You must have heard of things like doctors are not going to be very, very, very important in the future. It's just because of this new technology that we are calling the artificial intelligence. And we are also applying artificial intelligence in education. And we are going to see how a teacher is able to go on a laptop or a phone and get teaching materials or gets examples or what you call teaching aids without struggles, and all because of the artificial intelligence. And just like the name primary education, our goal is at the end of the day improve performance. But we are going to improve performance by assessing how we are doing work in our schools. So I've already mentioned I'm Shavironad and this is Erdon, so we are the people behind this technology. So we have where we came from. How did we come to building this technology? This is what we know. There is some bit of poor performance in grade 7 or primary 7. And the experts, the people who do research, tell us that there is inadequate teaching. They say there is limited supervision. There is misalignment of curriculum practices. Because I read a lot about education. Everything we do in schools, in primary schools, wherever, comes from curriculum. Should someone fail to interpret and produce what is required, then you're going to have issues. So there is misalignment of curriculum practices. Teachers often lack access to teaching materials. In fact, teaching materials, you can get them, but the zeal and the ability and the time to sit down and get these teaching materials sometimes becomes a problem. But those that get them, sometimes they don't comply with the curriculum, which is already set by. So I don't know if you have already seen this in your supervision. I saw it some time back. You know, we had a bridged curriculum after COVID. And then after COVID, we went back to normal. But then we discovered there are some teachers who are still using a bridged curriculum. So some of those challenges are common in schools which now affect the teaching. Some struggle with syllabus interpretation, and then some prepare examinations and lesson plans that do not meet the national standards. There are some teachers, for example, we saw that because we've been doing this. There is what we call the teaching practice by Bloom's taxonomy. You know that. So there are some teachers who are not following it when they are setting even those tests and those. So we realize, do you expect them to perform when you never set the other way around? So we saw that, and because of these issues, learners oftentimes, especially in our rural schools, remain unprepared for final exams. And should one fail primary, of course, that's almost like the start of suffering in life. So we said after, which is an AI, is to help teachers access teaching materials. Not just teaching materials, but teaching materials that come directly out of the curriculum. Because teaching materials you can, but our emphasis is curriculum interpretation plan. When you look at them, you really see they are all rhyming well with the curriculum. So That's our emphasis. We want to help teachers access the teaching materials, such as lesson notes, the schemes of work, lesson plan that are aligned with the national curriculum. It also to explain artificial intelligence in some bit of a local language so that we kind of understand it well. So we are helping teachers utilize AI to generate tests and quizzes, to scan like a learner's question paper. You add your own observation as a teacher, what you think as a teacher to improve the performance of that particular learner. In other words, handle a learner the way he or she is, not as a general group. Because someone might be having learning abilities or learning challenges that you haven't identified because someone is studying with is able to be told as a teacher, this is what you need to do to help this learner to also improve. But then we are adding a component of generating tests and quizzes. You're generating them based again on what you enable sets, but also what criteria is used to set the exams. They're like the Bloom's taxonomy and those other things. In our demonstration, we are going to show you how we have compiled, for example, UNEB reports for about 8 years. Now, those reports will tell you why learners failed, those who passed what they did right, and as a teacher, what you need to do to prepare learners to pass or raise. And we have customized it in a way, if I teach a subject like vegetation, after finishing it, I will go in the app and I will just put vegetation, and then it will pick all UNEB questions that have been set around vegetation. And as a teacher, at least you now know, hey, this is how UNEB sets on vegetation. 2022, they set like this. 2021, 2020, those who failed because of A, B, C, and D. Those who passed because of A, B, C, and D. So now you as a teacher, at least you now know what to do. Because you have seen those who failed, why they failed. And you have seen those who passed, why they passed. So which side will you choose? So at least we make sure those ones are available. So we are targeting primary schools, those that are looking for teaching materials for effective teaching. But we are also targeting local governments like where we are, like in Ntungamo. And why are we targeting you? We want to provide you with real-time school data for informed decision making. Because every time on your computer, on whatever device you will have, you will be able to know what each teacher is teaching. Because we are going to provide you with all the topics that they are supposed to teach. At any time to be told. So if you are going for supervision and you have your phone, you're able to call the teacher and say, Smith, according to curriculum, you were supposed to teach A, B, C, and D. But when I checked in a teacher's book, these things are not there. But also according to what the head teacher is reporting, is saying, you have only covered one topic. Out of the 4 that you were supposed to cover, what is the issue? Or probably you have a teacher who has been deployed in a certain school and you don't know what they teach. But this time around, you'll be knowing what every teacher's subject. So meaning, if you're going to do a transfer, you're not going to transfer a CRI teacher and you put where they are looking for a math teacher. Now that one will not be there. That's why we are saying those who need real-time schools data for informed decision making. So these are the 2 people we are helping, the schools and local governments. But also we have NGOs or institutions, religious institutions that own schools. They also need this data because they are the managers, they own the schools. They did with 110 schools in in Imbarara. So we worked with the IT officer and the district education officer. We tested these things with these schools. When we got to know that what we want can work, then we went to Iband and launched it. So in 2024, Mr. Ntare was there, we had a successful launch. So, but as we talk now in Iband, we have 313 schools that are enrolled on Pepas and are using it, both government and private schools. So it's been a fruitful journey. At least what we have achieved in Uganda, of all things, we have achieved what we are proud of: uniform scheming and uniform teaching notes, uniform teaching process. At least as a DE, teaching one type of content. At least now every time we know all learners are going to submit, or teachers. At least we have achieved setting district exams. Now term 1 in Uganda there is a district exam for P6 and P7. Now at least it is going to move to P4. We put everything in the system and then we rank schools. We know their performance because at least they are on similar things. Then term 2 we do the same. Term 3 we do the same. Now for this year what we have done, we have scored schools. For us the performance of PLE and what does not matter. We are scoring schools starting from term 1 up to PLE. Now the question has been, in term 1 you didn't have anyone in first grade. But in term 3 you have them. Where did they come from? Now we are having those difficult discussions. But also, when we did prepare, I cannot claim that the performance has improved to the level we want, but at least we have minimized use. When we started, we were in 100 use, but now in Ibanda district, at least particularly in Ibanda district, you have eliminated. You see, with Ibanda municipality, because of private schools and what, sometimes we don't blame a lot. But at least in the district, so many schools are government, privates are very few. At least we normally have a very, very good look. Now, in Ibanda district, at least we have minimized the use. Last in 2024, we had about 18, only 18. Now I think, are they around 20? So, but we are around that, but we have moved it from around 102. But the achievement has only been knowing what learners are studying or what teachers are teaching, assessing the performance of learners in real time, but also knowing learners are in school, but also knowing teachers are teaching. But of all things, someone knows I am being monitored. So while they might not do all the things we want, but they know they are being monitored. But also these things of I didn't have time to do it, we have given you schemes, we have given you all that, meaning you also have time to do the teaching, because these other things you can access them. So these are a few things we have achieved with Ribanda. So with 313 schools, all accessing one thing, being monitored, has been somehow a plus for us in Ibanda. So it is because of the achievement that we want to see whether the same thing can be done in Ntungamo. If we can also do what we did there, then we can maybe at some point sit down, call Ibanda, call Ntungamo, sit in one place and have a difficult conversation. But the goal is to make sure at least all learners are able to pass. So we have set ourselves another big target in Ibanda. One, we want to completely eliminate use. But at least every school must get 5 first grades. That's a difficult target we have set for ourselves this year, but maybe things will work out. So I want to ask my colleague to give a demonstration of the system. I hope. So we are starting with the web, which is more or less your side, what you can access. Then later on, we will show you what you need to do on the side of schools. Because schools do not use computers, schools use phones. So the schools will always have an app. Then for you, on top of having an app as inspectors, as whoever, you will have a web portal for reports and all that. But at least when you're going for supervision, you can always have like an app on your phone and because at least you always have runners, you have all teachers, you have everything in one place. So I think you can. Okay. Is it clear now? Okay. Let the projector stabilize. Specters as them will be on your phones. Now at least you have a will be on your phones. Now at least you have a summary of all your schools. How many? Let me select the one that is available. We use it. So I am going to use Ivan as an example. So as a DO, as inspectors, the people, the managers of these schools, you have access to this. For example, in a snap, this would be a summary of all the schools. So you have all the schools registered, both government and private, with their MS numbers, everything about those schools, with their runners, teachers, or are available at a go. Now, for the case of Ntungamo, if you wanted to add a new school, you would just immediately come and add a school, everything you profile. On top of that, you have access to enrollment, all the runners and where they come from, including, if you want, names of the parents. Everything you want to know. In fact, what we are adding, like in Uganda, because there is a new tool, we are profiling households and knowing all households and their children, and knowing the children that are in school, and we start linking them to this portal. So that whoever is in the district is actually in school. If you're not in school, you might not be in our schools, but at least whoever is in the district should be in what? In school, as long as you're a school-going child. So we have added that component in Ivan because we now have a database of all households in Ivan, all of them and the children and everyone. So we are now able to track our all learners in schools. Now, when you wake up and some runners are not in your school, some people might think they have dropped out. Maybe they could have crossed to other districts. But because for us we have profiled all households, even when they cross to the idea of dropout in Uganda will not be there. Because it's either someone has died or has migrated or that. But here, this portal is also telling us whenever a child drops out of school and there is evidence, the head teacher reports, and as administrators at the district, we are able to see. But also, this is an example of what you would be seeing at the district, all learners that dropped out. You'd be having a record of them. And the DEO, sorry, the teacher, the head teacher in the school tells you where they went. For example, you always have reasons like transfer to another school. The head teacher tells you whenever a child drops out. Reasons like abandoned school, family migration. So for you, at least you always have a reason why these learners are not there. Migration, abandoned school. These are examples. But also, there is a record of repeaters. Those that repeat school or those that repeat classes, you always have a so you always have all learners and status of them. Those that are in school, those that dropped out, those that repeated. So as managers of schools now, you're able to know if all these learners dropped out of school, what do we do? At least now you have an idea what to do. For these repeaters, you can check. Is it genuine? Are they supposed to repeat? If you think they are not supposed to repeat, you take action. But at least the system has helped you to know this information now. So, in other words, in terms of learners management, because a record of promotion is as well available. But here, all learners that move from one class to another, at least you also have a record of them. Okay? Now, We proceed? Okay. Now, on top of, so we have seen schools management, we have seen runners. Now, there is an aspect of marks. Like I said, all so you always have a record of all the marks in the district, both term, schools marks, term marks, mock, PLE, everything. Now, probably if they ask you results for last year, you go to files and what to look for them. But here you always have a digital record of all the marks from schools up to the district level. Or because when, for example, when you come here, you'll see different examination types that we keep record of. PLE, mock, term, district, all those. So some exams are done in schools, but schools submit in the system. You access. Others could be district exams, which you enter from here and schools access. So they will always have phones and access results. So this is on results. So schools, all those based overall pupils, whichever analysis you want to make regarding results is always available. So we might not go through all those, but gender, everything. So, and whichever report you ask for, we always make sure, as long as it is a report that will help you to make certain decision, is always available. So this is on marks. So I'm trying to manage time. Let me go to now the aspect of teaching and learning. So schools have access to teaching materials based on their subjects, whatever. For example, these are the teaching materials for 2026 term 1. So when you come here, up here, and you select notes, term 1, so you have access to resources here. So this is all classes. So this is as far as term 1 notes. So every teacher that has access to the app has all this as for term 1. So meaning a teacher has where to start from. This is not all, but you have where to start from. You can add your own research as a teacher. You also consult other people, go on internet, go wherever you want, but we have given you a starting point as a teacher. So for example, if we sample one subject, if it's English, so English is all available. It's too much because of those things of comprehension, grammar, all those. So this is as far as term 1 now. If a teacher enrolls now, maybe for the teachers that are watching, if you enroll now, you have access to this immediately. So you have where to start from. And again, I'm not saying these ones came from heaven, but I'm only saying you have a starting point. Math is available, all classes. So we have science, social studies, literacy. What we don't have is only Runyankore Ruchiga, which is a bit that you have where to start from. This is social studies, landlocked countries, whatever. So you have where to start from as a teacher. So this is, for as far as term 1, someone has where to start from. So as far as term 1, 2026. So a teacher has where to start from. So you're going to do your own scheming, but at least we have given you what I would call a reference point. So you can get your textbook, black book, whichever you use, you come to our resources, you compare, you do yours, at least you have what to take in class. So we have spent a week now. This is the second week. So if a teacher gets to the app right now, at least they can start from there and continue. So we always make sure these ones are available. So for those who also want past papers, they are available. We have, no, they are not in terms, right? Where are the past papers, in the app or where? Or subjects? Or they are not in terms? Okay. Okay. So they are not in terms. So these are sample past papers for those who would want to maybe sample questions or what. Because we are putting resources closer to so have theirs, but we're only saying we are putting everything in one place. Yeah. So the other interesting bit is here. So the UNEP guides. Now, this gives you an understanding of what UNEP is always looking for. Now, if a teacher logs in right now, they have access to this. For example, a question on social studies 2024. State one about is more than half of candidates, 57, were unable to state one Christian, whatever. Now, advice. Introduce each concept separately, guide learners to state whatever. So, now, if I teach about resurrection as a CRI teacher, I will come to the app and see what did UNEB ask about resurrection. They will pick for me this. I go through, understand. Now at least I know what to tell my runners because they have told me those who failed, why they failed. So these are so many, you can always pick the year you want, compile. And even the UNEP guide for 2025, we haven't received it, but as soon as we get it, because we get these guides direct from UNEP, so it's open knowledge, anyone can get them. So this is mathematics, science. For example, there was a question on to give ways in which rainfall is important for plant growth. Some candidates were unable to give the importance. Help learners to understand the role of water in plant life. It dissolves mineral salts, it softens the soil and all that. So this guidance is not our guidance, but it's guidance from UNEB. So every teacher has access to this. So if you teach about plant life, you come and do a search, they will bring for you. You help planners. So my colleague in the app will show you how it works, but here I'm only just giving you highlights. So as a teacher in my app, I will just type plant life. And when I type plant life, they will bring for me a question on plant life. So that question has come. So I see it, maybe because I've just finished teaching about plant life. So I will see a question that was asked, and the moment I see it, I know how to prepare learners. So this is available under teaching and learning. So the rest is about now staff management, where you have access to all teachers and what they teach. They are sports person. Probably you look around and bring the one that is also good in sports, what they continue with the culture. Maybe the person was good, debates, counseling and all that. Now they don't have anyone because you transferred the other one. So we normally, and it's always, although some head teachers might misuse it, they don't want to disclose everything about that teacher. Maybe they know implications. And there is a head teacher who told us that I cannot do that because the private schools will steal my teacher. It is usually a challenge, but we normally encourage head teachers to do this so that we, beyond knowing what they studied and what, we just want to know what they do in the school. If they are in charge of debate, we need to know. If they are in charge of guidance and counseling, we need to know. If they are in charge of ICT, we need to know. So that we get to understand that this is not just an ordinary teacher, but this is a superstar. And it is good on transfers. So this is always available, but because of time, let me allow my colleague to show you briefly what the app does, which is usually which is used by you, but mainly it is for schools. For you, at least you can at some point access a laptop and what, but these ones do not normally have those. But we have provided schools. Yeah. So I'm going to pause, try to make it a bit bigger. I hope that view, you might not see everything, but you will have highlights. Okay. Over to you, Erdogan.
Thank you, Mr. Zagawa Erdogan, and a software engineer at Empower Youth in Technology. So we came up with this technology. Now this is the mobile app that will be used by the teachers and the head teachers, because it is more portable and easily carried. So now this is the dashboard. As if the demo account, that's why we have only one teacher and one student. Then you'll be able also to access, these pupils. You can come here on pupils, then you'll be able to see them. You'll be able to see them according to their classes. Now you see in primary one, I only have one learner. You can go on and view the details. Then you can go on and view all the details. So this is the details of the learner. You can either edit or update or delete. Maybe this student dropped out. You'll be able to come here on dropout. Then you click here. You have to write the reason why this student dropped out. You have to select the reason why the student dropped out. Then you mark him or her as a dropout. Then let's say if he repeated, you'll be able also to repeat him or her. Then you can also delete. So this is how you'll be accessing your students. Then we also have another part for teachers. So now this is the page for teachers. Now you see, I also have one teacher. Then you can go on and view the details of that teacher. You can edit, you can delete. More so, you can assign him or her subjects. Network. More so, you can assign him subjects. This is how you assign the subjects. Just because the interface is small, so that's why I'm moving up and down. Because if I reduce, you want to be able to see clearly. Say you go on and assign you select the class, you select the subject, then you assign him. So these are the resources he has been telling you. You can also access the notes. This is how you access the notes. You come to notes here. Then you'll be able to view all the document. You select class, you select year, you select subject. You select subject, then you also select the term, then you'll be able to view all the notes in the system. So for example, this is one for CRE. It has 20 pages. You can increase, reduce, or do whatever. Then you also access the schemes directly from the app. You also select the class, subject, and the year. You also view the schemes. Then we also have the NAB guides. So these are the NAB guides as here. Everything that you were seeing the other side are all available here. So these are the NAB guides. Then you'll be able also to view the past papers. So these are the past papers that you were seeing. You also open them from the application. Then we also have the topics and subjects. You'll be able to view all the topics. For example, this is primary 4. The topic 1 is living together in our district. Then the other ones are subtopics. So you'll be able to know every topic and their subtopics.
Actually, that's what I wanted, because I explained it from the other side. So you as a DO, as inspectors, this is available for you Now you go back a bit. Now, for example, if you say term 1, that's what is being taught. Now, as the teacher is teaching, the head teacher is marking what the teacher has finished. Now, for you here, you're also able to be getting rankings. You see, teacher so and so has finished 2, but he should have finished 3 or 4, or is okay. He's teaching according to the schedule. So
you can interpret the curriculum, you can generate a quiz, you can generate a lesson plan, you can generate a reading material, you can conduct child study. So for example, on a child study, this is how it works. This is the page. You have to scan or upload a field marked paper, student answers, either subject or then you add weakness or strength of that student. Then you also add some observations. Then you upload a picture or you choose from the file. This is where you add your comments. Then you click analyze, so the system will be able to tell you everything. So bad enough I don't have an exam here, so I can't upload anything. So this is how you conduct a child study. Then we also have this. Of answers or marking guides. You also upload a paper. Then the system will be able to answer it and give you the exact answers and some other related questions that we asked on those questions.
maybe some bit of clarification on that one. So most times, maybe a teacher might struggle getting marking guides. Maybe they have met. You just upload your question paper, and then it creates for you like a marking guide, which now then you compare with the information you know. So it gives you an edge, a starting point. So a teacher knows already, but it doesn't harm to get a marking guide. So it's more from a certain district, just upload that one.
So then we also have this quiz generator. For example, you've completed a topic and you need some question that were asked by your name on that topic. You just come here, you select a subject. Let's say I need, let's say in science. Then you also select the class. Then you may need to type a topic. Let's say vegetation. Then you choose the number of questions you want, either 1 to 15. Then you choose the difficulty level. You may want average or fast learners or slow learners. Now let me choose average. Then you come here, you choose the Bloom's taxonomy level. We have apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Let me quickly understand. Then you come on generate. Is network fast?
I don't know.
Okay, let's wait. Now you see they have. So now these are the science P5 topic. Then these are the questions. Which of the following is not a type of vegetation found in Uganda?
Because the reason why we created this, because you know, there is UNEB sets using Bloom's taxonomy approach, knowledge, application, and comprehension. And we discovered when you check some books from the teachers we saw, they might only have knowledge-based questions all throughout. Like you find all the runners have been prepared on knowledge-based questions. And then we said, no, let our tool help a teacher to understand how to set questions using all the 3 approaches. So that's the reason why we provided that option. So meaning a teacher can go to the app and set tests and quizzes and all throughout without hassles. And by doing that, you're employing the other techniques. So that's the reason why we did that. It is testing all the 3 levels of questioning.
Then we also have this. We also have the schemes generator. You select the term, you select the class and then the subject. So the system will be able to generate for you the schemes. So they may not be perfect as he has told you, but you can go on and fine tune them. So now this is an example of the schemes it has generated. I see it has week, theme, topic, objectives, learning activities, and the references. So you can go and use the references now. So then also that's we
Meaning the other teacher who thought they didn't have time, now we have given you where to start from. Now your role here is either to put in your book, analyze, add your, but at least you have where to start from. So the other question of we don't have time, we don't, no, that one is not there because at least you have where to start from.
And then we also have part of reports. So these reports, you view how students have been performing according to the marks. So we have the upper section, which is from P4 up to P7. Then we also have the lower section from primary 1 up primary 3. Now let's select primary 4. Now you have to choose the type of reward of the report you want. You want results report? You want school summary report? If you want results report, you come here. Then you'll be able to, you select the class, you select exam type, then you'll be able to view all the results. Now, for example, this school has no marks, they didn't upload any marks, it's a testing school. So now you see we have division 1, 0, 2, 0, then you'll be able to view all these. And more so you view the marks for the learners, name, class, English, aggregate, total division, term, and year. More so, you'll be able to view school summary report. There is a school summary report, sub-county school report, and whatever. Then we also have this report of results. So you don't need to request for papers, I think, anymore. Hard copies anymore. Then you add your results. So you add your results. So basically this is what we have.
So this being a locally made solution, it can always change. We add, we remove. The developers are us who are just, you can even walk to Mbarara and meet us even. So in other words, this is not all. You might need some adjustments, but the goal is to do a tool that fits the needs as managers of these schools. That's the advantage.
If you are stuck anywhere, you can come here and you ask our AI, it can tell you everything. Be like me, I don't know how to record marks, it will tell you everything. Yeah, it is already there.
We want our schools to really function like this.
Now, for example, if I come here and write, let's say, hello, it will be able to tell me this. Hello, how can I assist you today with regards to primary education in Uganda? Then you go on and ask any question you want. So basically, this is what we have for now.
Ninyenda kutandika naye na first question MBs because abantu nibatina MBs kandi batakumanya aba niki nomuzoto MBs niki atinkusumanya konka zitinire so noza kushobora cha MBs akabantu bo baretera system ye cyatu bagamba MBs ombuzoto MBs niki atinkubyitegereza ki
mugendo nada banza tugambira cha MBs stroke data tichecho. Thank you, members. We are here for this open discussion, and I'm going to receive your hands, and you make submissions very fast. 3 people, I think. Then we shall invite Ronald back on stage to answer. Yes. Oh, yeah. Uh, so, can we have one of the concerns, a supplement, a suggestion, a question? As we try to receive your comments, dear facilitator, I also add my voice onto what the DO has said. And this one goes to the DO and the entire head teachers, executive members who are here. The way I've seen this kind of initiative, whether we want it or not, we must go ICT by force. So my humble peer DO, my humble peer and the dear head teachers, I don't know whether we are going to prepare a document, to look for funders, to do whatever, because our schools, most schools, like 80% of our schools, they look to be unable to have this. But my suggestion is, can we make it a point, we make a proposal to whichever organization and make sure that every school gets a laptop instead of a phone. If it means engaging head teachers as they get capitation grant per term, they spare, for example, 200, they keep. Another capitation grant, they spare 200. Then if it comes to the amount of money required to procure a laptop at the end of the year, at least we give our target like these people have been teaching us, that come next year, 2027, in June, every school should have a laptop. The things will be done and our work will be easy, and these head teachers, at least, they will get a soft landing. Tuhe target abokuba matches, yes, nasimu nibizaho konka, at least if it is an office equipment, an office gadget, laptop, if it comes to registration, for example, PRE, very easy. Every school can upload and really ishomero rikora ibintu byayo bitari kuza kurunda aba service providers. Like yesterday I received the phone call of one of the parents yarukungira ngo hari ishomero rimwimire nini yo mwana lini, actually not nini, lini ati ni results imbere nyenda lini, ati banyango okay nkatuje turi batana nibambuzabuza. And it's because these people are facing that challenge abokuba the lean exercise was done by a service provider. So that is my contribution, my concern. So mwongereho nimwe.
Ebare bwana moderator, to me, before we rush to acquiring laptops and whatever, the deal is saying the bottom line, we must begin. And my concern is, since the term began, since we began the year, we are in the second week. What is our time frame of when to begin or when to start? And how is it possible to access hard copies of these schemes and the lesson notes, since some of our schools don't have computers, and even some of the head teachers don't own smartphones? Thank you.
Okay. I think, Ronald, you are taking a note, but the good thing, the very last point has ended with, at least out of the 7 or 5 teachers in a school, including the head teacher, you find one teacher having a smartphone. Even if the head teacher doesn't own a smartphone, at least one of the staff members has. So it is a matter of liaising with the staff member, and the work is done.
Thank you so much. I want to thank the facilitators. Mercy Orichiriza. I want to thank the facilitators so much because of what you've brought to us. And you've done so because of our DEO, whom I think is helping us to grow ICT, to grow technically, and as a department, we are proud of that because ICT is here to stay. You cannot do anything now without ICT skills. So I think this is good because it will help us and our teachers to keep on manipulating those smartphones who have them anyway, but I'm happy a big number of teachers now own smartphones, and they know how to manipulate them. To me, this is just a simple thing. Since you have launched, the launch is now done. As I speak now, some of the teachers have already even started chasing out these things. So I think we don't need to worry. I wanted to arrest your fears, members. Even those who don't have smartphones, they will share because they want content, they want material. But the most important thing is, hey teachers, you need to be so serious so that each of the teachers gets the teaching materials which are printed. Members, tubire turuhire na yellow notes. Yellow schemes. Oshango muntu atireho 2011. Niza chine na ati zikahinduka zaba za yellow. So I think this is really a very good innovation to me, and I know it will work. It cannot fail. Shana itwetwenka mindset yitu yaba niyo yaba negative. But I implore each and every one of us to have a positive mindset because we are going digital and we can't do otherwise. I would wish to read this statement from Inspector Franco, who is not here with us right now. Oh, I can say it verbatim. Mr. Dio and inspectors and members present, I thank you and welcome you to this meeting. The world has become a global village. This is Franco, Inspector, watching from Ankara, Turkey. Thanks for the work well done. Let head teachers purchase schemes of work materials in time, and teachers be given timeline to finish, so that by the time we go to schools, we find some work done. Teachers do not use the quorum for evaluation. Schemes of work are outdated, are not dated, year, class, not put, etc. We need to improve. I come in peace, let others present. Thanks, Franco in class here in Ankara, Turkey. Thank you so much, Bwana Franco, for being with us. We really, because this has happened because of this ICT, digitalization of education. If it wasn't that, we wouldn't be able. Gumisiriza Francis is an inspector of schools. He's watching. I read verbatim what he sent. Yes. So, nyowe members nintwara okusima kwanje munonga. Nyo nashemererwa. Aho kandi mangwe ebintu nibiza kutuyamba oro ruzina ngendo rututiremu Mr. Dio abades Directorate of Education Standards kwija bakaza mu mashomero gate bakashanga staff yona hatariho schemes of work. Reason, people don't have time to prepare. Two, ni muzimanya reasons. Konka twara tuine schemes of work and case ziri prepared. It helps us. Can head teachers ensure that there is a group review of every subject. Kuba ku reviewing as a team. Our English department baze hari aba reviewing, so that they know what is embedded within the content of each subject. Abo kubara baze hari aba birabemu, and all teachers of math kutari kujangu naba science ya P7 ngo bazo mu science ya P7 yonka abeje sabona ba science as a department batantira schemes za P1 baikaza P7 within the content, and they will be able to teach it appropriately to the learners. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you once again for the facilitation. We are really grateful.
Yeah, we have the next presenter.
And the team for organizing such a wonderful workshop. And I also thank the facilitators for developing this kind of app. I'm very, very, very impressed. I'm seeing Abbott, I'm head teacher at Ntungamo Boarding Primary School. Now, I want schemes of works. We are now in the 7th year. We sit as a team. For example, if it is a mathematics department, they sit as a team. Teachers from P1 up to P7, we sit a week before. We develop teaching materials, we develop schemes of work, we develop lesson notes. For the whole year, like now we came a week before the term opened, developed schemes of work and lesson notes for 2026 for all subjects, including local language. Then after which, in my school where I am, it's a requirement that every teacher must be computer literate. Short of that, you cannot be employed. So every teacher is computer literate, knows how to manage a computer. Now, after which, we develop our schemes of work, we type, we print, and when another year starts, like now, like in 2027, we shall make an overview. We can enrich the schemes of work, we can enrich the lesson notes, we can add in, or we can subtract, we can do whatever. And these teaching materials have helped our school to improve, because the teacher has what to teach. In many schools where we go to, teachers have no materials. They simply come to class with a textbook, with a note prepared, has nothing to copy from. So, Mr. Dio and the team, maybe it's God who passed through you to call these people, so that as a district, we can have a uniform teaching materials, so that we equip our teachers. These teachers come from home empty-handed, go to class with no single material, not even a lesson notes, not even a scheme of work. And when it comes to lesson plan, where teachers are required to lesson plan every day. In my school, we used to count. If you are supposed to have 60 lesson plans a week or 40, we would count at the end of the month. If you miss 2, we even deduct the allowance. But it became hectic. Teachers would prepare and not even teach. So they would prepare, like over the weekend, somebody prepares the lesson plans for the whole week, and how I wish it would continue. Mindset. Cannot open the UNEP portal. The password, somebody is from Rukunjiri, is driving or riding from Rukunjiri to come to Ntungamo to have access to results. And you hear somebody ring, say, Mr. Abbott, can you access my results and tell me how many are in first grade, or how many my performance? They don't know. Then secondly, the issue of this enrollment portal is called what? The MC. We are hiring some people to register our children. So there are issues of misspelling of names, issues of wrong date of birth, issues of real number. So, Mr. Dio, I request that if these teachers, head teachers particularly, would be vigorously trained, we can be very
facilitators want active and looking into. I am Nwabi Nedina, Inspector of Schools, and looking into thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Like so my colleagues put inspection, relation, no single material, and they are there teaching what they dreamt about last night. Accounting for our learners, and the rest I accounting for our learners, and the rest I have seen. I want to thank you. My simple question is it on is it Google Play Store? Can anybody download? And what makes things simple again, we were given gadgets in our schools. At least 80%. Much as we are saying that maybe we miss ICT ICT skills, but like they said, it is mindset issues. If you can learn how to use WhatsApp, if you can learn how to do some messaging and something, if you interest yourself in these kind of things, there will not be other stories of telling us, I cannot manage this, I cannot handle this. It is all mindset issues. Because I have never seen any workshop training people to do WhatsApp, to run WhatsApp, to Facebook, to do Twitter and Instagram. People teach themselves because they have interest in it. Please, like we have had interest in WhatsApp, in Instagram, and the rest, let us interest our minds ourselves in these new initiatives that are coming, that are targeting our services, actually, to make it more simpler for us, more enjoyable for us to perform. Thank you so much once again. As a department, like my colleagues said, you are welcome, and thank God our dear head teachers are here. I know this message will be taken, and I think things will be well with us. And actually, I have seen Sevka distancing himself from us. I have seen him going away from us because of the content in that app. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think the work is becoming very simple. Sam, you also have something?
Facilitators, educational staff, for uniform teaching process. My name is Tukesega Sam. Tukesega Sam, a teacher in primary school. Yeah, for uniform teaching process in our schools, both government and private schools, there is a poor mindset of teachers, more especially for those of SST. And are you listening, sir? Okay, yeah. So for uniform teaching process in our district, for both school, government schools and private schools, there is a poor mindset of teachers of SST and science that for them, they don't mark. Marking it is for math and English only. So I don't know whether you are aware that in most schools in our district, they know that marking it is for math and English only. If after teaching, if it is science, after a lesson, then a teacher sets what questions related to that lesson. You never what? You never style. Yeah, it could be better. Then lastly, it could be better if you provide hard copy of schemes of work for this term one, because there are some schools or some head teachers without smartphones, they don't have MBs. Oh, yeah, if we have, they can scheme using what? Referring to your schemes of, yeah, it will be better if they scheme, then referring to your schemes using hard copy for this term. Then the term 2, you also provide, then and term 3. For term 1, you provide, then you will buy. You can get a center like it.
Thank you so much once again, but this one is off your record. It is a simple information to our colleagues here. Members, tomorrow and Saturday, we'll be having a retooling workshop once again at Ntungamo Primary School for mathematics department. So I want to inform you that tomorrow you release your teachers to come to Ntungamo. It is beginning at 8:30, and it is facilitated by UNEB team. Please let those people come. Thank you. Every teacher should be facilitated to come with at least 20K for their welfare. Tomorrow we'll host Ruhama Main and Ruhama East. Tomorrow, Friday. Some is showing me that UPE is not yet there. Like we have had some dates to procure posho and beans, please and chalk. You also do it, and as a matter of emphasis, for UPE schools, it is a must do. Then Kajara and Rushen, we will host you on Saturday, same venue, same time. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe we are going to listen to Ronald. Then lastly, the Dio will give us the closing remarks. Okay? Yes. Thank you.
Number one, a very big relationship with me. Sometimes I'm always scared to speak when he's available. But as someone who did a lot for me, when he goes to a district like this, I have to support. So, Mr. Dio, I am available for trainings. So, in fact, what you'll do, you will get in touch with head teachers, your department here. You list educational training needs in terms of ICT and what that you actually need, either as a department or what, we will always train for free. The only thing you need is to make sure the car you drive does not consume a lot. The only, as long as I can reach here, we can train really. That training is available, both for Pepas, both for whichever you need to improve as teachers, as educationists. When you see something and you need training on it, and it is technology related, let us know. We can train really, so that you, because you move with us. We came from you and we can't fail to give a hand where necessary. Because when we work with you, it becomes a long-term relationship. Tukira kwenda kuba abasuubuzi, where you come ukasubura ukagenda, because ko kusubura chonka and you don't build people, hata ubwenu bikana baba batakiroho niwe n'utakifuna. Koga kandi ko tukora relationship ikaba empowerment, because our organization is empower youth in technology. So the word empower is part of our DNA. So when we are training you, empowering you, mwena babine mwejo fear, no, let us, especially Mr. Herbert raised something. So, Mr. Herbert, where there is a need for training, even if it is in your own schools, we can always come and help. There was a concern on MBs. So many MBs, churwana samnong. And what we are going, for example, ahora bino itaga to use internet a lot, MBs a lot, is the AI part. But the other parts, you don't need a lot of internet. In fact, when you have already accessed, opened most of the things, then moving forward, the teachers might need internet or MBs because of these initial stages. They are starting. But when you have already opened all the parts you have already accessed, now moving forward, accessing will not be requiring internet. Just go with your phone, access and proceed. But you need to have first opened, which for one accessing teaching materials for like 1 hour or even 1 day or a week, give us an estimate of MBs. Maybe in a term, give us just an estimate. Now if someone starts accessing in a term, so that's approximately 10,000 or less, or 5,000. I think with 5,000 you can have a GB, right? So I'm assuming one might need like 5,000 a term as a teacher. I don't know how you look at that, but moving forward, so noitaga kachupa kamwe ka bia. Noitaga kachupa kamwe ka bia. To have access to this in a term. In a term. In other words, the data you use, or the data you need for your WhatsApp, TikTok, and what is much more than what you need for just Pepas. Because these are just PDFs. They are even in KBs. They are simple, light documents. Then the other information, for example, if you wanted to submit students' enrollment, it's once in a while. You might do it once in a term. If you're a teacher and you wanted to assign a teacher a subject, it's also once in a while. You might do it once a term, or 2 times or 3 times a year. So some will not have issues with MBs. Then Dina asked the issue of Play Store. So the app is available on Play Store, but if you download now, you cannot use it. Why? We don't know you yet. So what we'll do, we'll need all teachers registered in the system, because put the phone numbers. As long as your phone number is registered, you're known by DEO and the rest, you access. That's how we do it. So, for example, if we register you now, you start accessing, but we must put in the system first. It's like you being on the payroll and then you start accessing the salary. So you first get into the system, because we use your phone number. As long as your phone number is in the system, you access. You go on Play Store, download, access. That's how it works. So we will agree when they start accessing. That's an internal matter. Anytime they are available. Then there was an issue, some raised it and other people, on hard copies. It might be challenging a bit, because if you wanted to photocopy all these notes, it would be too much. Even schemes, what's the, how many pages, for example, one subject, because you are doing them, 30 pages. So you realize, actually the money you need to print is more than what you need to access. So it's a painful process that we agree to take if we want, because there are 7 subjects, meaning if you're a teacher and you're teaching 4 subjects, I don't know, maybe in summer they teach like 3 or more than that, meaning 30 times, assuming there are 5 subjects, so 30 times 5, those are like 150 pages that you need to print for schemes. I don't know how much money we print here in Ntungamo. Maybe per page is 200 or 500? 1,000. It's a bit costly. So it's 1,000 times almost 150 pages. So there is some bit of the money you might need can even buy a phone. So meaning the schools that do not have printers might struggle a bit. That's why maybe you would spend like 100,000 maybe. But maybe you need the data of 1,000 to go and download. So technology, and then you have saved time also. So technology saves time, and everything is available, because our role is to make people, we don't intend to make people's lives hard. However, it is at a cost. Not my cost, but your cost, yeah. So we agree. If we agree that we do it, we look at how we can go to that. But really, technology would have been better in this case. Cost reduction, efficiency, because you keep with your things. And then you just check on your phone, you write in your book. It would have really been so easy. But let me come. The other disadvantage of hard copies, which you need to be aware of, one might get that hard copy and use it for 5 years. And they don't, they will not add their own brains. That's my worry. They just go to teach. If the example has Mbarara, let me assume they will not also put Mbarara. But when they are really putting their brains and writing, if they say an example has Kampara and they know they are not encouraged, if it doesn't kill, they really access from the phones and put on their own. The only way we can do this is hard copies. We will also see it. Since they are available, they can be available in all formats. But it's costly, and it might make people lazy also. Edon, you want to say something? They will not copy and paste, but find out. So I find out if completely there is a school that does not have a phone. Maybe we pick out those and see. Because probably 3 smartphones or 4 can serve a school. If you don't have, your fellow teacher has, you can collaborate. But find out if we have pockets of schools that may seem stuck in these technological things. Then we see how to help them. we can do a spot check. Is it okay, Sam, or it's not within my means to allow you say something, but you raised a big issue. If it's okay, you can.
So, for uniformity, it is the SST, term 1, A1, now, from which source now? That's where my question is. Yeah, it is term 1, second week, but some schools, they are teaching for term 3, or they are teaching what the piece of topic. In most schools, because they are not following what? The syllabus. The syllabus they are using, they are for the
We are running out of time. So we are going to, I think, let us give it to them. Let us also put a provision for curriculum in their apps so that they are able to also cross-check with the curriculum. We can put those soft copies they access. Maybe they can have a comparison, yeah, with the curriculum and see. Yeah, I think it will help. They would rather teach ahead than teaching off topic. We will hope they have some idea on curriculum interpretation. Okay. Yeah. So I think those are mainly the questions. So it was so much. The place too, I have answered it. We will be sharing links. In the hard copy, we have discussed a bit MBs. We have seen. Yeah. I think really that's it. Yeah, thank you so much once again for listening. Ours is, again, a long-term relationship. So, available on phone, we can discuss these issues. We can change the app to the way we want it. Really, we can always do whatever we want as long as whatever we are doing has one component, performance improvement. That's it. And thank you so much. Over to you, Bwana Dio.
Actually, we call it an intervention. It is an intervention. And to bring an intervention, it means there is a problem. You started with a problem statement. So there was a problem, and now we came up with an intervention. And with intervention, we must come up with an outcome. And as I said, it must work. Some of the issues you are raising, they are really part of your work. If the teachers are teaching off topic and you are a supervisor, then you are raising a red flag. Your work is to tell them that no, this is off topic, be here. The most challenging issue is administration. When it presupposes that you are more knowledgeable than people you are supervising. Oshimekor knowledgeable, you know supervising. But in most cases you find it is the opposite. And it is worse if they even get to know. It is worse if they get to know. Poor supervision. It has been raised in many forums about private school. Njano mbanu mbreve bizimbe byabo harechwa eriwa grade 1 taine hona kizimbe na kimwe. Abashomesa tarakusena ne mutwara abiri. Kandi muchumuro tuzukuzibona kandi takazubona kashi ni bamuhaho installments. Konkai nabani 16. So the issue in our schools is supervision. And we are the supervisors. So I want to request you that you go and do the work of supervision. Mero eriyo kushanga hataro mshomeso ine staff phone taru smartphone taru staff yona hataro hono mo ine smartphone wa mhumtwaro MBs then umurimo gwatambra ogmano supervising. So and then I was reminding us that every school tubina ho kujicharginga kandi yene bechagingire. So the whole thing is just mindset. Mindset. So regarding the mindset, we are going to do this thing. Most Chinama Shomeragatina grade 1. Actually, I'm happy that you are challenging us. That the other side they have targets. 1, reduce use or eliminate use. 2, every school 5 grade 1. Hati it was targets in the so tomorrow to setting is it. Ahina Birendi, we had set a target of double digit grade 1. Not 9. 9 is not double. Stand can a double digit. Grade 1 for every school as a cutoff. Kuza bez kurema, kutwara hand kurema, mbweno chiraha, oshita mokora. aba bakutunga 00 grade 1 kagira ngo watunga 0 biro bintu bikuremere katwihewe bitaka kwita tukutwara handi mbweno tambura orgahora izoshohora ningo shitamukora but with this initiative we must move. Harwana jangu tandikeri yari nyoka jangu twatandika twatandikira actually we have started, we have launched kure ina bene tukaronchinga with an official from American embassy tukati yontu pushing and funding Trump kuyashikira kintu yachikwata mukonka kuturahare. I think Ronald we can even go back and this district is better positioned than the other one. Ntubasa kufunaho team y'abantu ntuzomu embassy ntukora presentation hata noja umuntu wamurika ngo ndakore ibi konka waburwa MBZ unoya kutakusupportinga na kusupporting. So we are looking at that. So let us start and move. Echina nienda Ronald tukore naenda tukhe contacts za head teachers na namazina gabo oba to mu system obasindikire ibintu then tutandike. Yeah, we should have started yesterday konka mwenu okuburira kimwe bizira ndega tutandike wakurga hatukhe amazina ga head teachers na nesu muzabo oba to mu system obasindikire then tutandike. Ebyesente it is at a cost as you are aware. I have shared with some of you nchona yetera leaders that you help us move. No manya abantu abinji bote batandika. Nibija manya UP tekizire manya bazire bakanga kushashura but we must start. Waza kugura bitabo byo preparingiramo it is so expensive. Nanye ndekirge on camera now.